Carter Show is a paid programming, and KHMC Magic 94 assumes no responsibility for its content, and the Wade and Carter Show bears all responsibilities for their opinions and guests on their show.
Coming up on the show this morning, Gorilla Glue is being sued. Dems contest election integrity, but nobody on the left seems to question their motives or whether or not the claims are baseless. No anthem at Mavs games, the Senate to proceed with impeachment, all that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show.
That's which is my cough button.
That one.
All right.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well,
Caught you right in the middle of your sip of coffee.
It's all right. I cut you off a second ago, so we'll call it fair and just move on.
There we go. Let's quickly do this. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the fine folks at Deerlum Feed. For 50 years, they have been providing everything you need from seed to food to feed to grow it to kill it. They've got it all. Pest control, animal products. They've got a great selection of all sorts of products for your dog and your cat and pets. So stop on by. They'll carry chicks when it's chick season. Seed potatoes are in. Dale Zuck just left here. I saw him there last week getting his potatoes so he can plant them. So
Loading up.
Get on over to Deerlum, and 60 degrees for the high today. I think we're sitting at about 56. Fog in the area, so drive safely. Not as thick as it was yesterday, but there's still some fog in the area. And you might want to get over to Deerlum if you've got outdoor animals, pets. Go get some hay, go get some bedding. Make sure they're nice and warm this weekend.
And what's that blowing?
Well, 60 today, so probably starting today. And then we get into some pretty nasty stuff over the weekend. Tomorrow, just a high of 48. Overnight lows for the next week. We're into the 30s, 20s, below 20 on Monday night.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
But, we're not negative 20 like some of the other places were.
We're
so
good,
I'll take that.
I was, I think it was one of Cheryl's cousins said it was minus 51 with the wind chill.
Yeah, things like that don't even comprehend with me.
No.
Like that's just the cold hurts. Like the cold hurts. And
I think 40 below Fahrenheit is minus 40 Celsius to kind of give you roughly where that. And I don't know that it's ever gotten close to 40 below in this part of the world.
They're both cold. Like that's just ridiculous.
Maybe when the ice age was here.
That's part of the reason I don't move to like Colorado or something. Is I'm the winters kind of make me nervous.
Got a friend from high school that lives in the Chicago area, and they've just been buried in snow.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd go too stir crazy, and I think my wife would toss me out a window after a few days of that, of just being stuck inside with me.
You kind of do. Fireplace is romantic, though.
Yeah, but when you've been married 12 years, sometimes I think I aggravate her enough. She'd just as soon toss me into the fireplace, I have a special way of just aggravating my wife when I need to. I think all husbands carry that trait, but she does show me grace and not smack me down as much as she should.
Yeah, I think that's a husband thing. Scott Tomko says, but it's a dry cold.
It is a dry cold, but it's still cold.
Yeah, we're a wet cold here. That's a different cold.
We're wet hot. Like it's hot. It's cool outside and hot in here, and
it's
already sweaty. Awesome.
Jeremy Pena checking in. Good morning to you, sir. First one in this morning. David Glass, Patrick Strauss, H.R. Mallory, Karen Webb, Judge Posey. Good morning. Scott Snow. Richard King is in. Chris Conrad. Chris, condolences to your Winnipeg Jets. My Calgary Flames topped them last night. There we go.
There you go. You got the Who's Who crew on this morning.
Yep. Lisa Poole, good morning. The Iceman is in. Bobby Leister, it is called a Wednesday. We'll pump that up a little bit later. Robin Moore Knipling, Marvin Mickish, good morning. Justin Glass is in. A Leisterometer holding steady at 737. Kendra Douglas, good morning. Mark Jameson checking in. Christina Wise. H.R. Mallory. Jason Garvel. Terry Murray, good morning.
All the cool kids are in.
They are, all the cool kids. So Is it HR 127? Is that Sheila Jackson's gun registry bill? Is that the?
You know, I think that might be the official title. We could just call it crap if you wanted to.
Well, it is, yeah.
To shorten it up.
Chris says I was pretty quiet last week when the Flames dropped 3-4 to the Jets. Well, that was last week. It's a new week, Chris.
And I don't know who the Flames or the Jets are. So
NHL
there's
teams.
that.
Natalie Mayer, good morning. Marie Day. Alejandro Alvarez, good morning to you. So
he's a good guy.
What do you make of Sheila Jackson Lee's pure garbage?
You know, I would almost say it's laughable, but in the same breath, nothing they throw out right now is laughable to me, because I think they have a good chance of getting through what they want to get through, and it's scary, you know, and that thing is scary, and all this talk about registrations and registries and all that just completely freaks me out.
Morning to my brother Corey, my twin brother. They tried that in Canada. They had a gun registry. It cost them billions of dollars. They never got it fully functional or up and running completely, and then the conservative government came in and got rid of it. But they confiscated guns as part of it.
That's what I was about to say.
What else did they do? They turned otherwise law-abiding citizens into criminals, and it didn't result in. The only guns off the street were those out of the hands of law-abiding gun owners, because the criminals certainly didn't have any lesser access to guns. They weren't the ones registering their guns.
What? I don't believe you. You know, the criminals, of course, they're going to register their gun. It goes back to the whole school zone, you know, gun-free zone thing to me. I mean, if you really believe that by putting out this sign or whatever, that's going to keep the bad guys away, well, good for you. Yeah. You know, good for you. And I think that I'll be honest, like right now, the state of the government and all that is really scaring me. You know, I just spent the last 4 years hearing what a fascist Trump was, but yet I'm watching censorship on levels that I haven't seen before being cheered, and all of this, you know, as we're censoring you and we're proposing gun legislation and oh no, we're not gonna take your gun,
and vaccination proof mandates and negative COVID test mandates,
and as the, you know, I what was it, stay 2 weeks to stay to whatever it was, the 14 days or whatever to drop the curve, and then the goal. Tiffany was telling me last night, she's like, things just seem weird. She's like, how does nobody have a problem with what's going on and the constant movement of the goalpost and the censor, all of it. So yeah, the gun bill, yeah, it does scare me. I think it's right where we're heading and right in line with what's coming.
And I'm not convinced that a constitutional challenge would see it reversed.
Yeah, I don't. Well, maybe right now until they pack the courts and do all that stuff. But I don't know. I think the president was said with this and or the potential of it is, man, we're into bad times, you know. And you've got the part of it I don't get is, I mean, 20 million how many gun owners do we have in America? And I've seen the meme and it's whatever. But if they were the problem, we would know, you know. And but you'll never, how do you overcome the people that think that a sign changes things, or that if you just register your guns, that solves the problem? It's two different ideologies.
All you have to do is look at how well or not well people adhere to registering your vehicles.
Yep.
I mean, probably daily, and Mark Jameson's in, he could probably tell you, but I bet you there's an accident or some traffic incident daily that involves motorists that don't have licenses, don't have registered vehicles, don't have insurance. All required by law, but they don't care.
Yeah. Well, why should they though? There won't be a ton of repercussions, and well, I mean, there will be if you're a citizen, but not if you're not. No. But yeah, no, I just think it's one, you know, if she was going to
citizen or legal immigrant. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, I should watch how I say that. Yeah, no, I think it's going to get bad. And I think people should stock up right now, you know, before the great boating accident that everybody's going to have and all that. You can't buy ammo right now, or you can, but you're paying $250 a round.
Yeah.
You know, guns are about, that's what I would buy instead of gold or silver or anything. I'd buy guns.
Adam Daughtry, good morning. But all you can do with them is throw them at somebody if they come through your house right now. Because you can't
Well,
get
yeah,
ammo.
you know, unless you were wise and saw things coming and try to get out in front of it, which I was not. I thought I was, and then yeah, this shortage caught me by surprise as well. It's crazy, and I don't see it coming back. And that's you know, if they start implementing these ammo regulations and checking out numbers to you, you know, you get boxed 500 through 550.
Yeah.
Well, that's, man, not good. And
well, you know what's coming next, right? Well, hey, you just bought 10 boxes last week. You don't need 10 boxes this week.
Yeah, I always laugh when they pull over a car or they do a raid on a house and they're like, the suspect had 3 guns and 800 rounds of ammunition. I'm like, ooh, half of Texas laughs at that, and they're like, well, is he just getting started or what? You know, but I know he's got like 20 guns and thousands of rounds. And so, yeah, we're in trouble though. I really think we're in trouble. Like I want to paint a rosy picture and all this, but I think the next 2 years are going to show some significant change, and that you reap what you sow, and I think voting has consequences.
Yep. Definitely. Tom Price, good morning. Adam Daughtry says, since we register dead people to vote, are we going to have them register their guns to get more money?
And anywhere they can squeeze a penny out of something, and especially if it can tie to a gun, and you know, I think so. And it's I think we're just beginning. I really do. And I'm curious to see, you know, I see Texas we're gonna pass these executive orders, yada yada yada, to protect us from government overreach. But then you start getting into the bigger picture of, okay, you know, the federal government says this, the state government says that. Boy, that sounds like a conflict we had a while back in history, you know, with the North versus the South type thing. And so I just don't see how this ends well. I really don't.
Well, I think it can end well. I think the end product will look a lot different. I don't necessarily know that it has to be a violent means to get to the same conclusion.
I would agree. I would hope that's the last means to get there, you know, but I continue to see things separate, and I wonder, how do they come back? You know, when I used to feel like we at least wanted the same end result, we had different ideas to get there. Now I don't even think we want that. I think we want 2 fundamentally different ideas of America.
Yeah.
And theirs don't involve us, you know, and I'm okay with them. They're just leave us alone, you know, and so I don't know.
Richard King says he's scared of the red flag laws that say if you had any sort of sight issues, you can't own a gun, or anyone in your house had a psych issue, you can't own a gun.
Oh, and just wait. I'm sure they're going
to get guns.
I'm sure they're going to tie the vaccine into it, you know, or
I'm sure
sometimes
you can't get a gun unless you have COVID.
I mean, I think all of that's coming, you know, and
I had a thought this morning driving in, and we'll get to it on the other side of the break, because it probably deserves a little bit more than 30 seconds of thought and discussion and comment. Allen's Record Service, 578-6300. Shouldn't even take you 30 seconds to dial that number when and if you are in need of a wrecker. Allen's is the only one we ever call. 578-6300. From something as simple as jumping your battery this weekend when temperatures get low and your cold cranking amps aren't where they're supposed to be to get the car started on that cold 20-degree morning. Allen's can come to the rescue. 578-6300. VCS Rocket Oil Field Services, the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer for all your communication needs, whether it's two-way radios for out on your ranch in West Texas, whether it's a complete set of cell phones for your family and the plans that go with them. VCS can handle all your communication needs. Stop by and see them right there on Kerr Boulevard.
Or if you just want to feel special, just go in there, and they sometimes I just stop there. So they're so nice to me. It just makes my day. They're good people.
They really
like the Hartmans.
They really are.
I usually leave there and I head straight over to Chestnut Furniture downtown at 116 West Wan Lynn. Over 101 years in business. That I don't even know how to say that. Cool. I mean, it does all the advertising. 101 years. Done. See you.
Yeah. I mean, what more can you say? It says it all. You've been around for 101 years. You've done something right. You've continued to do something right, and you're still doing something right.
I say she sounded a little muffled. That might be my allergies this morning
That might be
too.
there. I
can't hardly breathe.
I had that a little hot. There we go. That might be better. BJ Nelson, good morning. And don't forget, Veracruz Caldo Wednesday is today. Might be the day to go in and get. I haven't had some Caldo for a while. I might have to make that trek. Although Cheryl made a good chicken and dumpling soup yesterday. So
that does sound good.
Yeah.
It does sound good. But Caldo Wednesday,
diet.
That's the day.
Yeah, that's the only day.
that's
if you were there
boy.
yesterday, you weren't getting it. If you're there tomorrow,
so
yeah, you don't know your days of the
pick your
week.
battles.
Yeah.
Pick your battles.
So get over to Veracruz and enjoy Caldo Wednesday. Yeah, sorry, folks. I had a dial up a little high, so we've dialed it back. We're good now. Didn't check it.
I'm just glad you
Thanks,
knew how to
Richard
fix
King.
that.
So the thought coming in this morning, we basically got one communist superpower. Well, and a couple pseudo players: Venezuela, North Korea. Communist was the scourge of the earth in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, basically up until the fall of the Berlin Wall, when, Mikhail Gorbachev and Glasnost and decided to be a little friendlier and advance the Soviet Union out of communism in retrospect, without much of a plan. It was so hastily done that the people had no hedge against the artificial price controls that were in place and the inflation that ensued and the criminal oligarchies that filled the voids where government just walked away from everything and took over basically all of what was, formally nationalized. It was done without a plan. But what and when, or why and when, did communism, which was the scourge of the earth, besides plagues and things like locusts and things like that, right?
Biblical stuff.
For 70, 80 years, all of a sudden become okay.
Because we are getting our butts kicked in the culture war, and I think the left has owned that for years and years and years, and by controlling the narratives, they've, look at the way we've changed language from illegal aliens to undocumented workers to, I saw the Advocate won't put, when they had that downtown little march against abortion, it wasn't a pro-life march, it was an anti-abortion march. And somebody said, why are you calling them anti-abortionists? Well, because they're implying that the other side is pro-abortion or pro-death or something. And so they're going to call them anti-abortionists and not pro-life. And I think this is another example. They've enticed the young and the low information voter with the promise of free stuff, and it was just done wrong other places. And you got one side saying go to work, get up and go to work and work hard, and you have your shot. And the other side saying, nah, we'll give you free stuff and let us take care of this. And you just keep preaching that to people who aren't paying attention. And it's a hard sell, go to work versus get free stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if I won the lotto tomorrow, I love Shaw Realty and my agents, but there's a good chance I'd retire quickly. And and I man, all of it, it's all tied together.
But how do you pick and choose? If communism is bad in North Korea and North Korea is so dangerous, how is communism in China and Venezuela okay?
Because China pays us millions of dollars and lines the pockets of the people in power over here, and China's playing chess, and China's going to end up kicking our butts if we're not careful.
And is it as simple, or is it because we buy so much stuff from China as consumers that people just, well, I mean, we upset the communists, we upset my Amazon.
I think that's exactly it. They don't want to upset where their checks are coming from. It's the same thing like at the National Association of Realtors. They won't let us turn Zillow off, even though they're stealing our listings. But that's because they get money off of our backs selling to Zillow. And I think it's the same thing with China. Money talks. North Korea cost us money, whereas China's sending over, all these politicians making less a year than we do, retiring as millionaires, tied to China, it's gross. It's gross. But it's money is what I think.
Communism has been responsible for more deaths than any other ideology in the 20th since the 20th
And
century.
one of the biggest things of it is state-controlled media, state-controlled message, state-controlled everything. And look where we're heading like that. I made my little notes because I forgot last night is, one, there's that song you probably saw it, that rap song, Fake Woke.
Yeah.
I think hit #1 on the Billboard, whatever. Well, it's been banned. It's been
Apple
banned.
pulled it.
Yeah, Apple pulled it. So did I checked on the way in. So did Amazon and the #1 song.
And you can't go to a record store and buy it anymore.
Nope. And they've pulled it. And then last night, we were watching a deal about vaccine side effects, and people are trying to start like groups of, hey, I got the vaccine. It gave me this side effect. It was the first or second largest trending group on Facebook as of yesterday or day before, and gone. And these are just people saying, hey, this happened to me. This was my experience, and they don't like it, so it's gone. And I don't know how people aren't freaked out by this. And like
go read Time Magazine's article from last week
about how everybody conspired together and
got together.
Yeah, I don't get how that doesn't just terrify people. Like I saw Parler yesterday that Congress is trying to get. They want the list of all the people that had anything to do with the building of Parler, the financing of Parler. That is none of your business. Like that's terrifying that they are just using their power to destroy. Go get your own stuff if you don't like ours. Okay, well then we're going to destroy you when you do.
These are the Salem witch trials all over again. This is the communist Red Scare of the 50s and J. Edgar Hoover and the McCarthy trials all over again without any sham of due process in a trial, right?
Yeah.
They're just coming after you.
Well, and that's what look how they're painting everything. Everything basically that leans center or right. From now they're lumping libertarians and conservatives in together, and it's anything. Don't tread on me. The Gadsden, the Betsy Ross flag. 3%ers are now. Everything is twisted and distorted to make our side look like we're extremist.
We're so worried about a $15 minimum wage, and communism's so great, but our Democrats don't say a word about the treatment of the Uyghur Muslims in China and how they're being put into detention camps, basically concentration camps. And our Dems don't seem to care about the fact that Chinese slave labor in factories make pennies a day.
But they got their Nikes on, and
their Apple Watches, and
and that's what I'm talking. I think a lot of this is low information voters. I don't pretend to be the smartest guy, but I at least try to seek truth and seek information. But I think these people that are getting their news off the Daily Show and the sitcom people that just suck now, that aren't even funny anymore. Leno was actually funny. I don't even know the guy's name. Kimmel. But these are where a lot of people I know get their news, and it's all in a headline or a soundbite. And when you present them with truth, they don't care. They do the shoulder shrug. And when truth doesn't matter anymore, I think we're in trouble.
Well, truth only matters if it's the truth the way they want you to.
If it's their truth.
If it's their truth.
Yeah. That's the problem. And I keep hearing that. Well, that might be statistically true, but this is my truth. Wait, that means it's false. No, this is my truth. And how dare you look at my truth differently? There isn't your truth, my truth. There's the truth, and it should always be sought. And anyway, communism sucks. Christina
Wise says, how about Bank of America turning over customers' names to the FBI?
Yeah, and where's our politician? That's what and this is, the underlying thing to me is, how do we stop this? How do we, and I only see is we stop it. Like when they, instead of cowering, like I saw today, the Army's going back and they're changing a bunch of their symbols. And because I like the 3% stuff. I didn't even know until yesterday that all of a sudden it was racist and extremist. And, and you read what makes it that, and it says that this is a group of gun-loving individuals that don't like government overreach. Well, okay. It sounds like you should go shake their hand and say thank you to me, and brother, I think we're in trouble. Like, I really do. I don't mean to be like that negative guy, but I mean, they're systematically dismantling one side of the country, and it's the media and everybody will cheer it on. And our side, sadly, I think is so timid and so passive in a lot of ways that we will allow it, and it'll be too late by the time we stick our heads up and say, wait a minute, and
BJ Nelson asked the question, which is more important, safety or control? And I think when the government's involved, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
Because they no longer allow individuals to make decisions that might protect themselves. And you could argue some regulations have been good. Seatbelts, airbags, crumple zones in vehicles, bumper standards. I mean, there are some. But yeah.
Man, I'm with you. All of it to me is and it's like I was telling my wife yesterday, we get so bogged down in the details. Here we got this bond thing, we got this going on, and we're gonna all argue and shred each other over a band-aid to which multi-million-dollar band-aid do we want to put on the problem? Not let's fix the problem. Not and all these things that require big changes all the changes are slid to the side, and they keep us fighting over here on the side dishes and all this, and which $1 million band-aid are we going to put on instead of fixing a problem?
Peter McNally says you guys are getting too far right for this show. More scare tactics. What scare tactics, Peter? We're talking about communism.
No,
we're talking about the things we're seeing go on in this country. We're talking about banning guns or registering guns. We're talking about infringing. That there alone infringes, in my opinion, on the rights of law-abiding citizens, because criminals, as Canada can prove, didn't register a gun when they had gun registry.
Yeah, no, and I'm sincerely, Peter, my question is I like discussions like that, because I know that that's how they see it. Well, where's the middle ground on that? Because that's sincerely how I feel. That's how, and I hate that that's how I feel, but and to Richard, I want to tell you, as far as the timid and passive, I didn't necessarily mean the actual people. I more so meant our politicians a lot, that, the people have a voice and we're not afraid to use it a lot of the times, but I don't feel like our politicians always back our play in that. And they seek the path of least resistance versus the principled line of let's change something and let's do something instead of let's just get to the next election. But yeah, no, I'd love to talk to that's a conversation I'd like to have, somebody like that to call into the show and not to attack each other, but I'm genuinely where are our accusations and our thoughts going off the tracks, and what are we wrong about, and correct me, steer me back if I'm looking at this wrong.
My guess is because we're not in favor of more government control.
Yeah, and but that's if one side thinks the government is the answer and the other side thinks they're the problem, what's the solution? Because I think they're the problem.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to know where government has actually fixed any problems, large scale.
Well, they've fixed your wallet and your bank account that might have been a little too heavy, and getting their pound of flesh from you out there. I don't know a problem governments. I know a lot they've created, and they try to tell you they've solved them, but I don't know anything that they've actually solved.
And the Republicans that are blamed for a party that preaches small government and fiscal conservativeness. I can't recall an administration, and even President Trump, he might have cut some red tape. He never cut
spending
departments or spending.
Yep. No, I agree.
We didn't see the government entity reduce jobs,
and we lose our ground to talk about fiscal conservatism when we don't practice it ourselves, and so no, I'm with you. That's why I don't run for office. I'd either be a hero or zero, because I'd go in and slash everything. If it wasn't security, roads, or bridges, it's gone. And we're not in the fun business. We don't need to be losing $500,000 on Boot Fest every year, and that's not the government's job. That's not the job of the taxpayer to fund that. So that's why I don't run for office.
It is your job to call White Trash Services 550-1826 for all your trash collection needs. Roll-off season is here. Spring cleaning just around the corner. Now's the time to call White Trash 550-1826 and get your dumpster ordered for whatever size. You've got an apartment you want to clean up, they've got something for you there. If you've got a small house, you've got a large house,
an overflowing garage full of boxes you need to get rid of,
there you go.
They got you.
They can do it all. White Trash Services, from weekly collection to the roll-offs to dumpsters, whatever your trash collection and haul-off needs are, because they're not just going to collect it and leave it there.
Nope. They do it right.
Yeah, they do.
That's why they kick butt like they do.
550-1826. Since 1926, Atzenhofer has been selling cars and trucks to Victoria and the Crossroads, the best of Chevrolet, Cadillac, Mitsubishi, Mazda, all your favorite brands via their carefully selected and chosen pre-owned units that they make available both on the lot and at atzenhofer.com.
Yeah, you're not going to go wrong there.
Nope. Great selection, great people. And, they're stacking them deep and selling them cheap at Atzenhofer.
You can also call Razor IT Solutions. I've seen some of you guys' web pages out there, and you need to call JP Hull. He and I'm including myself in that one, but yeah, give him a call. He's got all of that stuff down, the hacking, the people trying to tie in and just making your website look better, to just keep it simple, not even scare you with it.
Certainly helps. John Paul knows anything to do with the analytics and the data, how to make you understand it, or how to break it down and help you understand it, to making your website and all the stuff on the back end more secure so that hackers from around the world, there's a new one, and I don't know how they do it. I'm assuming somehow UPS has been compromised, but we got a call from my mother-in-law because we shipped a package the other day. It's not even out of the country yet. And somebody called them asking them to send money and provide their tax information so they could release the package at the border. It hadn't even got there yet.
They're getting good.
They're trying, yeah.
They're getting good.
So I don't know how but I'm assuming that somehow they were able to get the tracking number. So
they need to call the law office.
Yeah, if they do, if you ever become a victim, Steve Kidder is the one to call. The law office of Stephen Kidder can certainly help remedy the situation in court. Be curious to see his conversations on the Gorilla Glue lawsuit. We'll get to that because we've got some guests sitting here waiting, and we don't want to keep them any longer. But Stephen Kidder can handle all your legal needs if they ever should arise. So give Stephen a call.
If you can't make it over to Caldo Wednesday, you need to get over to Complete 360 Health Bar. They've got 2 locations now, Complete 360. They've got the Complete 360 there on Navarro, and then they've got the new Health Bar. And that Health Bar is awesome, guys.
That one's going to be dangerous for you because that's within walking distance.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's good people over there. His whole crew, his whole team, they really seek to just make it a special experience when you go in the door. They want good products and good service and delicious on top of all of it. And those things, that people, health food, go in there and check it out. Like it's good. And there's a difference between slamming a soda when you're all hot on a hot day and getting one of those BCA shakes or whatever that they'll make for you. I mean, some things you just got to experience and check them out. And Complete 360 and the Health Bar are definitely one of those.
My daughter comes home with like a new drink every day from there.
Yeah, they're awesome. And I'm just going to probably rent a table over there or something.
Some days I can taste them, some days I can't because it's still covered and going. But
yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
But Ron Koshin's in. Good morning to you, Ron. Come on, grab the mic here and we'll get it up a little bit because I'm not sure I knew you were coming, but I don't know that I was prepped on why you were coming. So welcome to the show this morning.
Thank you. I was turning on the radio on the way down this morning, and I said, well, first of all, y'all were a little late, weren't you?
Couple minutes.
It's all right. Yeah, you're forgiven. I got scared. I said, what did I do wrong? This is Randall Bernard. He's one of my board members.
So his shirt does not lie.
His shirt does not lie.
It does.
And you guys have been so good to us. We auctioned off that re-elected gentleman cap signed by Ted Nugent, and Torn Bales bought it, and he did a great job, and we got his check, and appreciate that. Appreciate Brett. You guys handling this for us. We have a kind of a special need today. You guys have been talking about guns. You're looking at what we brought in.
Can I put it on camera?
No, not at all. I don't mind.
We have a young Iraqi vet
Clear.
that has a 6-year-old daughter, and she has a insidious disease that I forget what it's called, but it's where you grow older while you're young, and you see these cases every once in a while, and she needs a shot every quarter. The shot costs $8,000
Wow.
every time they get it, if you can get it. The VA may help them, may end up helping them some, but it hasn't kicked in yet. And in the meantime, they're having to go to Katy, spend several days a week, and it's just wiping them out. Warriors Weekend has made a donation to the family, but we have this pistol that Caleb's got, and he's showing you.
I don't know if you can get a little bit closer to see the detail on that.
The 9 SIG. It's covered with the American flag, I believe, right?
Yes.
And we're going to auction this off on the Wade and Carter show, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
And it's going to run through next Friday, the 19th. But you got to go to the Wade and Carter show to bid. Okay, so maybe we'll pick up 1 or 2 new listeners. And Bruce Ponchik's going to be live on Facebook this morning. Just look at his page, and he'll go over it again. But he's going to tell you that you need to go on the Wade and Carter show to bid on this.
Bidding started, Jeremy Pena, $300.
Well, thank you, Jeremy, but we're up to 825 already.
Okay, good to know.
Attaboy, Jeremy.
Hey, and I can vouch for that gun. That's the 365. That's one that I carry and a whole lot of other people carry, and it is a fine shooting weapon, and SIG's a great gun.
So 825 is the starting bid if you want to get in, because you've already got somebody in.
Yeah.
Well, and Caleb Shaw's at 850 now, so just to keep it interesting, I'll raise it to 850 right now because I like those 365s.
I asked him to listen in this morning because the young veteran, he didn't know that we're doing this. He didn't know, now he knows. And so listen, we love you, buddy. And
Richard King says $1,000.
Who's that?
Richard King.
Attaboy,
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So we're rolling. It's a sad situation. A guy got blown up in Iraq and come home. He's a disabled vet, and now he has this situation. His family, beautiful little family, and this beautiful little girl. They just need our help, and we're going to help them. That's what we do.
And our listeners rise to the occasion.
That's
constantly.
why we're here. We go where the good folks are.
Well, we appreciate that, and we appreciate you guys coming by and bringing this to our attention.
And you know, I'm going to take advantage, you know, and I do. And his mom was one of our best sponsors, has been from day one. We're going into our 15th year. Let y'all know we do intend to be active this year. It's Warriors Weekend. As a side note, we're going to have a fishing tournament in April for pre-9/11 combat vets. So Korea, Desert Storm, Vietnam. So we'll be watching for that coming out. We tend to have somewhat of a we call it a big event every May. What we have down there, it will be scaled down this year because of COVID and everything else. And we haven't been able to have our big fundraiser, the muster. So, and then we have a small Purple Heart fishing tournament in November. We're going to have a bigger one in August. Purple Heart Day is August 7th. We're going to have it on that day.
BJ Nelson asked if the vet is working and needs a job.
He does some side job, but he might. He's listening.
Okay.
So BJ, thank you for that, and I'll get you all together. But I know
Calvin Arena Shearer, $1,500. Patrick Strauss bumped it up to $1,100, and Calvin Arena just came in and raised it up to
You don't think I was
$1,500.
thinking about Calvin Arena when I came over here.
I have no idea what you were
never
thinking
do
when you came
something
over
like
here.
Whatever. But this guy's been with us for over 10 years, and he's a great veteran, and as most of them, all of them are. And they just need some help, and we're going to see if they get it.
And I'll throw the clause out there. You have to be able to legally purchase or to own the gun and pass the background check and all that stuff, right?
Well, that's why he's here.
Yeah.
He handles our illegal stuff.
So Richard King says $2,000.
Boy, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
I appreciate what you guys do and helping the veterans in the community. To me, this is what makes this community special. Right now, you come in with the need for a veteran, and already the comment section is lighting up. Already people are getting in line to help. You know, we can sit here and argue differences all day long, but it's one of the things about Victoria that I'm constantly surprised by and overwhelmed with is their generosity and how they come together to help. And so I'm blown away, and I just want to thank you guys.
I agree.
And to be honest, America in general, there's not a more giving nation
Absolutely.
on this planet than the United States.
But we still do it.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't do anything different.
My wife says we can't afford the gun, but we can certainly bring some monetary donations to help out as well. So that's the other thing. if we want to help this effort, Ron, just give you a call, and if you want to drop
I
by.
think Lee Can too. You know Lee Can too.
I believe I do. Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Arbogast's husband.
I believe so.
There's some talk about her starting a
GoFundMe for this.
So
Okay.
it might be, for smaller donations and what have you. But we just wanted to kick it off with this, and again, it's going to run through the 19th, which is Friday next week. That'll be your last day to take bids, and it has to be done through the Wade Car Show. So,
We appreciate that. No pressure, right?
no pressure. Yeah, let's don't let them fall on their face. They're already not have. I can guarantee you that.
I mean, they're already coming through.
Yeah, Richard
They're
King
already coming through.
At $2,000, so we appreciate that. And we'll keep an eye on this, and hopefully we can get that.
Yeah, it's
way up there.
Insidious situation. I mean,
Yeah.
that poor little girl, she probably doesn't even know what she's going through, but the family does. And it's breaking our hearts. And it's just a terrible thing to have to come home from war and face this now. So y'all do what you can. We appreciate you guys. Let us know if you need anything else. My number is 361-935-7414. And or you can go to WarriorsWKND at Yahoo. Send us an email. We'll do whatever it takes. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it. Randall, thank you very much. Appreciate everything. I've got a picture of that. Randall took one. We'll get that posted as well, and we'll keep the bidding going until next Friday.
Sheila Jackson Lee hadn't bid on it yet?
Pardon me?
Sheila Jackson Lee hadn't bid on it?
Not yet, no.
Oh, man.
Well, I'll send a note to her personally, Ron.
Gentlemen, take care. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Jeff Fonseca says prayer to the families. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. So appreciate the early involvement and from everybody around. Richard King, $2,000 is the high bid so far this morning. So
They turned around
thank
like
you.
grumpy mood this morning.
Yeah.
I was all mad at fascism this morning, and
I'm still mad at fascism.
Yeah, I am too. But
but
yeah, that's a good thing, and that's a good gun. Like that 365 is a good gun. That it's a nice little concealed. Your wife can use it. You can use it. It's a good gun, and for a good cause.
yeah, definitely. Terry Murray, I saw she was in on the bidding. Motto Mortgage. If you have any mortgage questions, needs, answers, you need answers. She's got the answers.
And she's no pressure. You
No,
can
not at
just
all.
talk to her. You can call her and say, hey, this confuses me. Because that stuff is confusing, and don't try to figure it out on your own.
No.
Let somebody walk you through it, especially somebody that won't take advantage of you, that won't, she'll tell you if it's right for you. She'll tell you if it's not right for you. And she's good people. I like Terry. She's kind, and you'll always see her helping in this community as well. But yeah, she'll help you out over there at Motto Mortgage, and she can do all the different loan types from my understanding and get you fixed up.
Yeah, you can stop by and see them. They're right there next to Jason's Deli. I don't know what the name of that plaza is. The old HEB Plaza, I guess you could call it.
I screw it up every time. Yeah, that's wow, that's funny. I still call it that too a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That's why I laughed. Yeah, over there by the old HEB. You've had
the
old Albertsons.
Somebody's had to be here for at least, I guess now probably 15, 20 years, because the new HEB is not really the new HEB anymore. But anyway, and if you want to give Terry a call, 541-5454 is the number to call. Motto Mortgage, locally owned and operated. Your dreams, our expertise is their motto, and Terry has plenty of expertise to help you reach your home ownership dreams. Dana Moore de la Garza.
North Cross.
Is that it?
I think that's yeah. And I cheated. I looked at Terry's comment. I wanted to act cool, but no, I cheated. I cheated. Thanks, Terry.
There you go. Dana Moore de la Garza can help you with all your afterworld needs, pre-planning of funerals, your memorial services, any sort of service from a wake to viewing in full open caskets, to burial plots, to just questions about the process and will this fit into my budget? Dana Moore de la Garza can help you with all that. She's your one-stop planning shop for anything that you have need-wise for, the unfortunate.
It's stuff you don't want to deal with, and you don't want your family dealing with it.
Not at that time. Yep. You really don't.
Nope.
And you don't want those who are grieving for you to have to do it as well. So you can do it ahead of time, and Dana knows all the questions or can answer all your questions and just really help you make those plans a whole lot easier on everybody, including yourself.
Yeah, it's a wonderful gift to your family should something ever happen to you, that's already handled for them. I can't stress that enough.
And at the very least, start talking about these things with your family so that there's no surprises.
Yeah, life's precious, and it goes quick, and on life is precious, and we're sensitive. You need to call Wind Services. If this cold blows in this weekend, you don't want power going down, and you don't want your heater turning off, and not having a generator out there.
No.
Say that's one of those things. I officially became an adult and bought a generator.
Did you?
I mean, I learned after Harvey, and that was my first adult experience with a hurricane, and I now have a generator.
Yeah, and a whole home backup generator is absolutely essential in this region if you don't want to be without power for some folks almost 3 weeks in the wake of Harvey.
Yeah, it's that sucks.
Yeah.
And so you definitely want to be an adult and go get you a generator for your house.
And don't forget, Wind Services also offers plumbing services now, so they're not just electrical contractors and can handle all your electrical needs. They can handle all your plumbing. So, I mean, think about the things that they can do one stop. If you need a new water heater, they can do the electrical and the plumbing. You need
got to call one guy over, one company. That's it.
It's all you need.
Makes it nice.
Yeah,
one
it really
call takes care of it all.
578 home. The number to call for Charlie Garcia if you got a drab slab in your backyard. Maybe you've just moved into a new industrial place, commercial place that who knows what was going on there before you took it over, but the slab is stained. You want it to look nicer. Charlie can come in, go check out their Facebook page and all the portfolio of the before and afters, because you'll see what they have turned old, stained, yucky concrete slabs into, and you'll be absolutely amazed.
It's probably a whole lot cheaper than a brand new slab.
Oh, it's way, way cheaper than a brand new slab. And it lasts, won't peel, won't crack, won't fade, and 4 times stronger than the
Look
epoxy.
Cooler than your neighbors.
Yeah, than the epoxy products that are on the market. And don't forget, if you want to see before and afters, go check out the portfolio of the Gray Barn. Cheryl does amazing work. She's worked at Schrader Hall. She's worked at Club Westerner. So she knows the venues in town and how to make them, and not just town, in the area as well. She knows how to make them all
got the
look
touch,
real nice.
the
She
magic
really does.
touch.
Yep.
And I keep saying it, and she's good people. I happen to like all your sponsors a lot.
I like one in particular a lot.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
I bet you do, and you're a wise man for that. You did good.
I did.
You did good.
I did really good.
We are lucky guys. I'll say that.
I hadn't seen Steve Kidder check in, but I was curious if he got any of the Gorilla Glue. Did you see this lawsuit that I saw?
I did,
last night?
And I tried to read the article, and my Daily Wire subscription has expired, so I was not able to read the article. But I did see the headline and the picture, and so
let me break it down for you. The lady apparently used Got to Be Glue. It's a hair product that really helps your hair stand up.
That's what I'm using this morning for my gel.
All right.
Yes, sir.
She ran out of it and apparently grabbed the Gorilla Glue spray.
Oh no.
And weeks later, it's still in there. Can't wash her hair. Can't do anything with her hair.
Ooh. Is she suing them?
Yeah, she's suing Gorilla Glue because they didn't warn her against her own stupidity that, Gorilla Glue. And here's the other thing. She started a GoFundMe, and last night when I went to bed, like $14,000 have been donated by people to help this idiot.
And this is why I think society is doomed. It's
and then
the person that spills the coffee
why,
because it's hot.
And then you wonder at times why the government has to reach into areas of our lives, because unfortunately somebody has to protect somebody from themselves.
Though, I mean, at what point though? I mean, if you're not wise enough to not pour hot coffee on you, if you're not, some people just.
If McDonald's had a bad cup design.
Fair enough. Yeah. There's a hole in the bottom of the cup that every time you take a drink, it burns you.
Yeah,
okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. But the fact that you took a spray glue that's not designed,
It'd be like me going and putting, I don't know, like Gatorade in my gas tank and
Yeah.
then suing Gatorade for it because my truck's messed up.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a label to tell me not to put it in my truck.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, when we give these things merit, when we give them life, when we all just don't laugh at this and move on, here we go, and somehow that lady will end up a millionaire. You watch, and we'll be in here doing our show, and she'll be retired.
Exactly. Bob Watley says she's fortunate to have any skin in her skull left.
Yeah, that's spooky. I'm just glad nobody plays those dumb games anymore. Putting what was the hair stuff that used to make your hair fall out? That Nair or whatever.
Yeah,
people put that in shampoo.
Yeah. Don't give people ideas.
No, yeah, good point. Those were some military pranks back in the day that I never really thought were funny. Luckily, I didn't end up on the wrong end of it, but yeah, never thought that was cool.
No.
Never thought it was cool.
The old liniment rub and the jock strap.
Yeah. Luckily, we didn't do a lot of that stuff in little small town Dulce, and I'm glad because that just didn't look fun.
BJ Nelson asked the $1 million question: why would you have Gorilla Glue spray in your bathroom?
I'm just gonna leave that one alone. I don't even know. I don't have a witty response. I don't have anything there. Oh, hey, real quick. Yesterday, I saw Max coming in here, and I met some friends of his yesterday, the Hamiltons, and they took me out and I did some beekeeping yesterday, and that was cool. I know we don't have a lot of time to discuss it, but that was a lot of fun, dude. It was really neat. I was like a little kid out there. The Hamiltons were very kind people and spent their time, and we got to open up several hives, and found a queen and looked all through and I'll tell you what, nature just blows me away. I was really like a little kid just listening to every word. I forgot to ask questions and stuff because I was so into what was happening. But yeah, it just reminds me again to support your local farmers, support your. Do
they have a local brand of honey?
They not anymore. They're in their retired days. They may or may not later sell some, but they wanted me to make sure to stress like the farmers market and our local farmers and harvesters and farm eggs and I would just say now with everything going the way it's going and our health and processed food and all this, like to me it's more crucial than ever that we support our local vendors and growers and all of that. But
absolutely.
It was a ton of fun.
This Saturday the farmers market will be back open.
Yeah. My wife loves going over there and yeah, we definitely need to support those things because if we don't, they'll go away, and I think we need them more than ever.
And don't forget too, local honey is better for allergies. So everybody says it.
Yeah, that was one of the things, and I didn't know that you could get like depending on where the honey is harvested from, it can taste slightly different based on the flowers or what they're using to pollinate it. And I got to see the bees with the big pollen pockets on the back of their legs. I didn't even know they carried that much pollen. See, I'm getting all excited again. I was like a little kid out there.
Did you get stung?
No, I didn't. They did a great job.
Were gentle bees?
They were, and I expected a lot more fury, but. The Hamiltons, they had a process down and the smoking, and I thought the smoking of them would stir them up, but it actually calms them, and so it was fun.
Matt Boucher says the Golden Crescent Beekeepers Association.
Yep, reach out to them. Matt, you know exactly who I'm talking about, and they had very kind words to say about you yesterday, but they were very kind, and you'll see that on an upcoming episode of Meet Victoria. I don't know if it'll be the next one or the one after, but it'll be a neat show. We had a lot of fun.
So Senate voted to continue with the impeachment trial yesterday. 56-44 was the split. So they've got 6 more votes than the 50-50 split down the road. They need 17, I believe, to impeach. Again, did
anybody?
A lot of people were going, I don't know, but a lot of people were posting, the Senate deemed it constitutional.
Oh, shocker.
If the Senate was the arbiter of constitutionality,
we're all in trouble.
We wouldn't need the Supreme Court, and we wouldn't have a whole bunch of decisions by the Supreme Court to overturn what Congress and the Senate have done over the years because they don't know the Constitution.
Yeah, the Senate confirmed. Yeah, I just started laughing at that headline. I was like, okay, that means a ton to me.
Yeah.
It must be valid.
Yeah, it must be. Senate says it, okay.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of those, I don't know anybody that paid attention to that yesterday. We all had things going on, work and other stuff,
Well, and you've got all the things going on in this world. You've got our president just executive ordering anything because Congress is so tied up in this garbage that I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why everybody should just, go to the farmers markets, go do all this stuff because the government's going to screw it up. They're just going to screw it up.
Yep. Super Bowl, least watched Super Bowl since 2007, but it was the most streamed Super Bowl in history. So I don't know if that means that they gained the viewers back on that side. I'm not surprised by that stat because I think as more and more consumption of entertainment is done online, it's going to happen. But I somewhat am surprised, though, that the viewership was as low as it was because with people being in their homes, not being able to go to bars and large parties and many places to go watch the game, that it was the lowest watched Super Bowl in, 14 years?
Yeah, something like that. And I was kind of shocked by that a little bit as well because this is the first game I've tuned into in about 2 years. And I figured with the Tom Brady thing and stuff like that it might be a little bit bigger, but it wasn't. Well,
and I think I think Tom Brady's polarizing. If you're a football fan, you either like him or you hate him. Mm-hmm. I don't know anybody that goes, he's all right. I might be the one. I'm like, he's a good quarterback. I'm not a fan. Didn't like New England, but I think it's also a statement on the two teams. You've got Kansas City, which they're Kansas City fans are rabid in Kansas City, but they haven't transcended like Green Bay around the country.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay has been Tampa Bay for, since they were first in the league in 76 or 77. They've never really had anything. I just think it was more a product maybe of the two teams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Than anything else.
That and just, people may still just be tired of it. I know a lot of people that I'm not turning on any games because I don't feel like getting preached at,
and 22,000. 25,000 fans in the stands. That was it.
Yeah. It was weird. Like I don't get the cardboard cutout thing. Like that's just, I'd rather see an empty seat than a weird, creepy cardboard cutout of somebody. And that's odd to me. I
can't remember what I was watching. I was watching a little bit of I think it was the Kentucky basketball game last night. And they were showing the cutouts in the stands and some dad, must've been a dad, cause a mom would never do this. Some dad had pictures of his crying kids in the cutouts. Awesome.
No, that's
awesome.
Totally a dad thing. Yeah, like that's all. And that's something I would do if I was going to do. We're going to use cardboard cutouts. Okay, well, I'll get a 10-foot poster of myself, or if we're going to do this, I'm going to have fun with. Shoot, I just put up an 8-foot giant cutout of myself because one of the little modeling gigs I did at the shows, they take it to the trade shows and they called and said, hey, we got this giant 8-foot photo of you we're going to toss. And I was like, no, I can aggravate my wife with that. And so I did. I've been trying to put that thing up in front of her and she's going to end up hitting me with that giant 8-foot picture of myself.
You're going to come home and you're going to find they're all going to be center mass.
Yeah, her target practice. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, I keep poking this bear. One day I'm going to really wake her up,
Exactly.
And going to call me to come in and I'm not going to be available.
And the Hall of Famer, Ralph Salazar, is here, Brother Gary as well. And real quick, Mark Cuban, because the NBA apparently has told teams that the pregame this year is up to them. They can do whatever they want. Mark Cuban says no more national anthem. This is the guy that has waffled on whether or not he was in favor of it, not in favor of it. His players kneeling, he was going to join him and take a knee, and then he's backtracked from that. Now he says, yep, no anthem before the games.
Yeah, I think it's sad that it's come to that the anthem is so divisive that we have to, now as much as I like to see the national anthem before, I would rather not see it than see all the crap, see everybody fighting over it and the finger pointing and all of. I still get goosebumps and usually cry about 85% of the time when I hear the national anthem. And it just, I don't think there's anything more unifying. And it really kind of makes me sad to see it just get shut
You and I, but apparently the woke left.
Yeah.
There's problems with it.
That's just sad to me, because that song, when you listen to the words of that song when it's powerful to me. And I picture those guys looking out and seeing our flag still standing when they're in combat and all like that's powerful, and we all stand under that flag. And anyway,
I'll say this, when, watching sports right now and national anthems being performed by a singer somewhere, but pre-recorded, nobody's butchered one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or taken artistic liberty and just gone off the rails with it. So at least,
it's a good point. I like the song. even the funky kind of country version that they did at the Super Bowl, I found myself standing at attention with my hand over my heart and little tears coming out my eyes, because that song gets me. You know, I know people that didn't come home under that flag, and it I know a lot of honorable people that served under that flag, and a lot of good Americans that love that flag. You know, so yeah.
On that note, appreciate you joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Brent will be back one day. He's got a lot of scheduling conflicts right now, so.
And I appreciate your fans letting me come on here and rant and rave.
I appreciate you
act like a madman.
On short notice, being flexible enough to.
I'm honored you guys think of me, and you hadn't tossed me out a window yet. So thank you so much.
Got a good one to toss people from now.
Yeah, the last one I would have preferred. This is a big fall here. Yeah, but
it's more effective if we got to toss you.
Hey, you guys are like the Jeffersons, though. You're moving on up, and I'm proud of what you guys have done here. It's cool to stand here and look out your window on the 5th floor here, and you guys are doing it. So I'm proud of what you're doing, and thanks for letting me